we back to square one. It's hard to square up. Everybody.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. The biggest challenge for these teams here may be dealing with the weather. Rain is falling, the field is slick, and it's not going to get any better as the game goes on. It'll be messy out there. It's the Packers going up against the Steelers. With that, let's hand it over to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis. They've got the call of this Week 12 matchup.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They love the black and gold here in the Steel City, and a few moments ago, their Steelers emerged from the Heinz Field tunnel. They're set, we're set, as the Steelers are ready to do battle with the Green Bay Packers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games.
And this coaching staff has to be pleased with how their defense played last week. They held their opponents to 3 points, and that was it. If they get anything comparable to that performance, this one's in the bag.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Packers, they come in the midst of a pretty bad stretch here. Losers of 5 straight.
So many different reasons teams hit the losing skids, but the best way out of it, something has to happen positive early in the game.
The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is fielded at the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. Leading them out, there's Brett Hundley, third-year quarterback out of UCLA.
Began his NFL career sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for 2 seasons in Green Bay. But guess what? Aaron Rodgers did the exact same thing sitting behind Brett Favre. Maybe Brett Hundley had the same type of luck with his career as it turned out for Aaron Rodgers.
Here's the rookie from UTEP, Aaron Jones. And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And a wide receiver to watch in this offense, certainly Jordy Nelson.
And most defenses watch him run past them. Jordy Nelson can run every route in the route tree and take it to the house.
And ready now for 2nd and 9. Throwing, Hundley. Caught on the right side by Adams. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. Now Hundley. It's caught here by Adams. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 41 yards. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on. 2
yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And a look at the Steelers' defensive unit.
Let's really illuminate linebacker Ryan Shazier. Has the speed of a safety. In fact, coming out of college, some people clocked him at sub 4.4 in the 40, but also the ability to go up and down the line of scrimmage and thump just like the linebacker he is.
And his 4th year in the league now, coming off his first Pro Bowl. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. That's complete to his tight end. This is Lance Kendricks. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate. Got the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation...
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
And he floats one there, incomplete.
Brandon, looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. Back to throw here. And this is going to be incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground. And now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. So they come into enemy territory. Nice drive to start the game, but they probably wanted 6. They only got 3.
I agree with you totally. That's the expectation. When you get the ball and you start moving it and you're rolling, you think you're going to end up in the end zone. But they should be happy with the 3. A good way to get things going here in this game.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. And we get a glance here at their leader, the man who will be calling the plays under center. Now the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And let's take a look at the Steeler offense.
Jesse James is a tight end who's a combo player. Could line up on the line of scrimmage, block at the point of attack, and also get out in front of wide receivers when they're running screens. But he also catches the ball well. Short, intermediate routes are his best, but when he grabs it, he's also tough to tackle in the secondary.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. This is caught by Antonio Brown. And he's brought down after a good game. 23 yards on the play.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful of one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
The give is to Bell. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set him back for 2nd down.
The evolution of Clay Matthews as a player, it's just one that they're going to end up writing books about. He didn't even start until his senior year at USC. He didn't start in high school. And now he's at all-pro level in the NFL. How about the play he just made there?
He has certainly made a name for himself. William Clay Matthews III.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2, but they face a 2nd and long to start things out. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. James has it. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. That one goes for 24 yards. Now a handoff, running off, tackle right. Oh, eluding the tackle. So he got free of one tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
He'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Michigan man, Jake Ryan. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. It's that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
They run it again with Williams. And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to Heinz Field after this. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's James. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. to throw. And he fires one, but incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. They'll go for it with Bell. And an alley to run. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. It's an 8-yard pickup, and on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks.
Oh, man, my stomach hurts just watching this team call plays. I've heard of going for it on 4th down in the red zone, but not when you're inside your own red zone. And, boy, somehow they take a chance here, and it pays off.
Looking to throw. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Packer pressure, and down he goes. And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
He'll look to throw. Gets this one to Le'Veon Bell. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. And now the Packers going to take another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard.
Here we go now.
They'll run it with Bell. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll give the Steelers a 1st down.
I tell you, on that first glance, I thought he got it easily. But the mark was not a real favorable one. As it turns out, they do give him the 1st down, but that was very close to going the other way.
Here we go now.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the 1st half. And welcome back. The offensive unit, they took the timeout, and now they get set to line up as we resume action.
Here we go now.
Back to throw now on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. He'll drop to throw. Oh, the rookie nearly had the pick. Probably should have had it. 3rd down now. This drive, which was going so smoothly, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a roadblock here with 2 straight incompletions.
Yeah, apparently this defense has had enough. Apparently they're saying no more. We're making a stand right here, right now. But it is 3rd and 10. They've got to get after him one more time.
Here we go.
They'll look to throw here. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Devon House. Oh, he's got a little daylight. 30, the 20. And into the end zone. It's a pick 6 and a Packer touchdown. They were in the dime. They had 6 defensive backs there. So go ahead and throw it. He threw it, and it hurt him.
It's almost thrown into a blanket of coverage, isn't it? You talk about the best defenders you have are the defensive backs. 6 of them on the field. You're almost asking for trouble, and that's exactly what they ran into. Ended up throwing a pick 6.
Yeah, 6 defenders and 6 points. On is Mason Crosby for the point after. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So we've come to halftime here with the visiting Packers out on top. As we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm Larry Ridley, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. The Steelers haven't played their best football and trail because of it. The Packers have looked good on the road and will just try to keep the ball rolling in the second half. So let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. Now 1st and 10, Adams by himself here, and he'll end up at the 20-yard line before being tackled. Packers will stall out, settle for a field goal. 3rd down from the 38. James is able to get open here, and he won't be brought down until he makes it to the 38-yard line. Down from inside the 50. The pass ends up being picked off. House is the one who would run it back for the score, pushing the lead to 10. So that'll do it for us here in Orlando for the call of the second. Half. Let's hand it back over to Brandon and Charles. Brandon.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken at the 3. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And we put our attention now on the defense for the Packers. And a big reason why this defense is pitching a shutout, they have been bringing the lumber.
And think about how they've been playing and putting themselves in a position to do it. Fundamentally sound, covering all the gaps, what do we call it, run fits when it's the running game, making sure they're locking down on the pass receivers, and that puts them in a position to be aggressive when they tackle.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Out left side here to Bryant. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. On second down, it's Bell. Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets him a new set of downs.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
And he connects with Vance McDonald. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Man open left side is Brown. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. And it's Clinton Dix with a pick. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
For so many years, I was convinced it was a myth, you know, because you always hear about the smaller running back. Oh, he gets lost, you can't find him, and sometimes that's part of his genius. But it's true. You get behind big offensive linemen, the defensive line guys trying to find him, trying to peek around people to see him, and he gets lost. But this guy gets lost in a good way for his offense, picking up big yardage.
17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And that's complete to Adams. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked number 1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
They're going to look to throw. And he's wrapped up. Taken down. Back at the 25. Stephon Tuitt in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can.
And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Lance Kendricks, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Packers add on to their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what, whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever, this was a big score to start the second half.
He's got it, and it's 17-0. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it ends with a Packers touchdown. Crosby on now to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, second down.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there, because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown, and frankly, that should have been another pick right there. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. It'll be a gain of 17 and a Pittsburgh first.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
You're not you when you're losing. Snickers satisfies.
Back now in Pittsburgh. It's the Steelers with the football, but trailing here as we get going in quarter number 4. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Now back to throw. Over the middle here to Brown. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
His throw caught right around the 6, and he gets it all the way down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. Chewing up big yardage, another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
Second down now after the incompletion. They'll drop to throw. That will be caught by James. The big tight end has a Steeler touchdown. Jesse James with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit. And it was a tight window. He knew he had to rocket that thing in there. He got it done.
And when you're able to complete one like that, your confidence has to just go sky high. You just mentioned it. Tight window, zings it in there despite excellent coverage. Result, touchdown.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And it's 17-7. Boswell on now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They begin the drive with Williams. And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. The Packers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Now a handoff. Here's Williams. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. On now is the Packers punter. On for his 2nd punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. Great coverage there. Holds him to a 2-yard return following a 50-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. So incomplete on first. Let's see what 2nd down has in store.
Here we go now. No. Check. Patriot.
They'll set up to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. They give him a gain of 38. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still...
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Then it's Clinton Dix with a pick. And to the 12, That's where it stops. The return is halted at the 12-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Getting down to the end here, they have a 2-score lead. Barely, but it's a 2-score lead, so that probably makes you as a coach feel a lot more comfortable right now, doesn't it, Charles?
It does, but it doesn't mean now you go out and run option or some kind of a wild double reverse or anything like that. But you do know that if anything does go haywire, you're still in control of this game.
I want a double reverse, don't you?
I'm just waiting for that day where we actually see something like that in this situation.
We'll see what happens here. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead. First down, fourth quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back. But 8 yards on first down puts them back on their heels. But he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
Now, and he lost the football, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And he'll be brought down around the 7-yard line. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
They'll look to throw. And it's caught. He's got it for a late touchdown. But probably a little too late. It would take a miracle of epic proportions if they're going to pull this one off. Coming from where they were, they knew this was going to be tough. But they got the touchdown. Now they need the miracle, the onside kick and a little extra.
Yeah, and you have to get the onside kick and not have the ball bounce around a lot and eat up time. You want to be able to grab it, possess it, and get your offense out there for what you just termed a miracle last chance.
Boswell for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it a 17-14 game. A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. So with 14 seconds on the clock, they've got to go with the onside kick. Oh, I think they got it. Yes, the Steelers have it. So they needed the onside kick. They got it. Now they need a field goal.
And that's the beauty of this. They don't have to get 6. A field goal ties the ball game for them. Nicely executed play.
Back to throw. And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed it. Instead, second down. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there.
And it's often hard after you play really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you've got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals.
And he's going to lose a yard or two. Taken down behind the line. And Charles, in this one, the fourth quarter became a lot more interesting, I know, than I anticipated. Probably you anticipated. A comeback bid falling just a little bit short.
You're never supposed to count a team out and I know we didn't on air, but mentally, I just didn't see this type of a comeback, especially one that put them in a position to put the real pressure on them down the stretch.
So for Green Bay, the win is a good one for morale, but little else as they move to 3-8. And they will head home next week to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they suffer their 4th loss so far. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in Cincinnati against the Bengals. So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say good.